I'm sitting here with cosmetic dentist Dr. Gamma of the Dental Lounge, and we're talking all things cosmetic dentistry and starting with teeth and aging. Tell me, what's the deal? There's this thing called the Mesial Drift.
Yes, it's a fancy way of saying your teeth sort of inch toward the middle of the mouth.
Oh.
Right, and that really causes a lot of crowding for patients, and it frequently presents in the bottom teeth. So as we get older, you've probably seen it in people of older age. They have a lot of crookedness in their lower teeth, and that does add to the aging look.
What age does that start to happen?
It actually starts as young as like 20. So we're all on this path, and it happens slowly and slowly. And we often do Invisalign or clear aligner work on patients who are in their mid to late 20s, and that's because of the mesial drift. And sneakily, people who do not wear their retainers. It happens quite a lot, so don't feel bad if that's happened to you. You know, you get your retainer, I think the usual number is about 2 years, and after 2 years you start thinking, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And then we get that mesial drift happening.
Guilty as charged. I've been wearing Invisalign, and I do notice that a lot of people my age and above are going back to Invisalign. For the newbies, what is Invisalign?
Invisalign is a clear aligner system, so they're like clear retainers that you wear, and it's designed to replace braces. Invisalign's been around a long time now, so they're really good at it. And we used to need braces with some Invisalign cases. That's not the case anymore. We can almost do any orthodontic therapy, almost, with Invisalign now.
It's great, and then there's the Invisalign diet, so you actually end up not snacking.
I lost a bunch of weight on the Invisalign diet myself. When you wear Invisalign, you got to wear it for 20 to 22 hours a day, and you take it off to eat and drink, and then you put it right back in. But you want to brush your teeth, floss, brush your aligners. So you just don't do that if you're going to grab a handful of M&Ms or Maltesers or chips or anything like that. Snacking goes out the window.
It's just not worth it. But it's really effective. I've already noticed that my teeth have shifted. I'm feeling like it's working, so it's really satisfying to notice. And now tell me about other things that happen as you age to your teeth and how you can fix them.
I'd say one of the other things that is most common is discoloration. A lot of our teeth discolor over time. Sometimes it's internal discoloration. Other times it has to do with what you eat and drink. So for all the red wine and coffee drinkers out there, they're the killers for color. The other thing that happens is our teeth wear over time. So your back teeth sort of from grinding and clenching and eating, it wears down, and you lose what we call vertical dimension, which really adds to the appearance of aging, because if your teeth are supposed to be this tall, they end up this tall. You get creases in your lips, and you get a downward crease.
So that all starts at the teeth.
All starts
That's where you get that kind of sad look.
And it's actually a higher risk for if it happens at larger volumes. You can get fungal infections and all sorts of little things that happen to your lips that are not cosmetically great either.
Which brings us to health and well-being around. Tell us that there are some pretty alarming stats to do with gum disease and gum health and more.
Yes. I think the incidence of gum disease is really high, somewhere in the 80s and 90% of the adult population. But in this modern world, that's insane, isn't it? Yes. But what we're realizing now is that the dental problems have a significant effect on our overall health. And I'm really into longevity and well-being, and it's really important we consider what's going on in our mouths, because the human body isn't really well designed to cope with a flood of bacteria and infection streaming from our gums. But also, that leads to increases risks of heart disease, Alzheimer's, and all sorts of other systemic conditions. So it is very important to think of the mouth as something that's part of the body and not just like a few teeth that we chew with. They're all connected systematically.
Wow, we know so much more now than we did before, don't we, in terms of the holistic look at the things. What are some ways to prevent gum disease? I mean, obviously flossing and brushing. Is there anything else that we should be aware of?
Look, changing parents could help.
Really? Okay.
So genetics plays a big component. What we're learning now as well is what state our immune system is in also plays a big part.
Wow.
So, significant drops in immune system does lead to higher incidence of gum disease.
Wow, okay. And it's probably all related to gut as well, somewhere back there.
always. But you know, at this point in time, you know, our main habits are oral hygiene, you know, diet, you know, and I think what's missed in diet is frequency of eating.
Yeah.
So often we're thinking about eating all the right things, but if you are frequently eating, the human body was not designed for that. Wasn't designed in our guts, it wasn't designed in every other metabolic system, and our teeth definitely cannot handle it because it just gives bacteria a ton of fuel to attack our teeth and gums, and we're not capable of that. But lastly, I'm a dentist, I've got to say this, regular checkups and cleans for us to physically remove the bacteria that builds up and the plaque that builds up around us before they grow and become more virulent and become actual gum disease bacteria where it's eating away the gums and bones. That is really important to do.
So it's got to be 6 monthly? Is that like a bare minimum?
Yeah, for adults definitely. And if you are a person with some form of gum disease, it's 3 monthly.
3 months,
I
wow.
know, and it feels like, if you have a 3 month clean, it feels like it's been a week. Since you've had your last one.
Now you've done something really disruptive in the industry, and you're making it easier for people to access dental services.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. My business partner and I, Dr. Braun, we, you know, whilst we have had a significant presence in, you know, private dentistry, you know, we always had this nagging feeling that there is a need for a more affordable dental model. And, you know, when you look at the statistics, which is staggering, you know, 35% of Australians don't access private health, or there's a 2-year wait for public hospital visits. There's really, you know, there's something we needed to get done. And we were lucky enough to go to Harvard for a course on disruption. And during the course, whilst we're looking at all these case studies, we noticed that dentistry has just not changed really in the last 100 years, and the technology's gotten better, but all the technology has been aimed at helping the top 20% of the population that accesses complex dentistry get better complex dentistry, you know, better veneers, better crowns, better implants, but no technology is spent making dentistry affordable. So we came up with this idea, which was Dental 99, which was to create all sorts of different software and apps that would allow us to replace a lot of the human costs, which is a huge cost in dentistry. And if a lot of people ask, why is dentistry so expensive? That is one of the reasons. You know, a traditional dental practice needs, you know, receptionists, treatment coordinators, clinic coordinators, managers, all sorts of different stuff to help service the patients. But we endeavored to build all the software to replace as much of the human resource element as possible so that we could provide quality dentistry and make it affordable, and that's where Dental 99 came.
What a great concept. And you've got 11 clinics so far, with more to come, I'm sure.
Definitely, so we're in New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria, and we're looking to expand.
Oh, exciting. And it's you don't need health fund, like private health fund.
No, we get asked that all the time.
$99, that's it.
Yeah, it's not like No Gaps Dental or something like that, or it's just for insurance patients. We wanted to democratize this as much as possible and have it for everyone. So the pricing is irrelevant to memberships or to any insurance claims.
That's brilliant. I love the way you're covering the gamut, because your dental lounges are they're like the most beautiful spaces, and you've put a lot of work into making sure they're very high end. So, but it's great that you're offering something for every budget and every type of consumer. So that's.
I think it gives Dr. Braun and I good peace of mind.
Yeah.
That we're helping both areas of the dental market.
You've got another fantastic concept, Dental Lounge After Dark. Tell us about that.
Yes, everyone says dentistry isn't fun. Common, everyone says that. So we're trying to change that up a little bit. So we will convert our dental lounge practices in certain evenings to a real party vibe. You know, dark lighting, purple neon lights everywhere. We'll be serving white foods and white drinks, and people will come in to get, you know, whitening done, anything simple and fun, you know, consults or an Invisalign treatment, just something simple, but it's all done where we convert the space into a bit more of a nightclub.
Right.
And make it as much fun as possible.
So you can have up to 16 people, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, in
Amazing.
one evening, yeah. So
Kids parties, that kind of thing.
anything that requires people to get some dental treatment and have a bit of fun at the same time.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sigourney.
Good to chat to you.
Thank you, everyone.